All right, Shalom. I want to first start off giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. These are the men that taught us this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. And peace and blessings unto the elect of the nation of Israel. I did a video on Ecclesiastes 10 and 18. And how the spirit worked was I had watched the Apostle Ramlab's video that he did, I believe, a couple of days ago, called No More Idle Hands. I had watched the beginning of his video, and I hadn't at that particular time when I did I did a lesson over Ecclesiastes 10 and 18. At that particular time, I hadn't watched the whole video. All right, but I was looking for a scripture to do a quick hit on, and I was flipping through my scriptures. All right, and I didn't know that the Apostle Ramlab. I figured it, I did figure it in the spirit that he obviously was gonna bring out Ecclesiastes 10 and 18. But like I said, I hadn't watched the whole video at that point. So I was flipping through my scriptures, looking for a scripture to do a quick hit lesson on. And I had flipped to that actual scripture, like literally flipping through the scriptures, and that scripture was one of the scriptures that I had opened to. And I said, man, I'm going to do a quick hit on this. Then I thought about, the Apostle Ramlab's video, and I was like, I wonder if he brought out this scripture. So I went back and actually watched it, and he did bring out the scripture, and he spoke on it. And I just want to just add to the spirit. I want to hit that scripture, and I got another scripture I want to bring out to go with Ecclesiastes 10 and 18. Okay, and like I said, I did a lesson, but I pulled it down because I thought I could have done a better job on edifying in that video. So I took that video down, and I'm redoing it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get it. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 18. It says, by much slothfulness the building decayeth, and through idleness of the hands the house droppeth through. And verse parts of this verse is basically saying the same thing. And that's like the Apostle Ramlab mentioned in his video. This is talking about if you don't upkeep your house, then it's going to break down and decay. Okay, or in other words, you maintenance your house over the years. Okay, and you may have to redo part of the foundation. You may have to redo the roof. Refurbish the roof. Re-insulate inside the walls. Clean out the air ducts, etc. Make sure you keep the weeds and all that stuff trimmed down around the house. Keep your patio or whatever washed down and not full of dirt and all that. So if you don't do that, then the house is going to break down over time. Okay, same thing with the second part of it. It says through idleness of hands the house droppeth through. Okay, and after a while your roof could start leaking. Foundation can become uneven. And I want to use this scripture just like the Apostle Ramlab did to relate this scripture to us, in this truth, because we are a temple. Okay, we supposed to be the house of the Lord, right? got a quick couple of scriptures. I said I had one to go with it, but I just thought of 1 Corinthians 3. I think it's 3 and 9, okay? So let's bring that out. 1 Corinthians 3 and 9. It says, "For we are laborers together with the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Ye are Yahweh's husbandry, ye are Yahweh's building." Then we jump down to the 16th verse, same chapter. It says, "Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you." Okay, so, we have to, and I believe it was a brother, I don't know who it was or what camp this brother was in, but it was a video that went up and it was called something to the effect of, don't forget to maintenance your spiritual house. It was some along them lines. Okay. And, yes, we have to do that. We have to make sure that we are maintaining our spiritual, house. Okay. Maintaining our spirit, and how do we apply maintenance so that our spirit don't break down? Or a good way of putting it is the oil don't start to leak out. Okay, the oil leak out and it start to leak out and continue to leak out. You're done. At least the Most High have mercy on this type of individual, and get his act together. So how do we maintenance our spirit? Because we living in a society where we're engulfed, which we're striving for perfection. We're rehearsing the law, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures. We are pushing to be productive members of the ministry, okay? And we're surrounded by nothing but wickedness, abominations. It's easier to go off than to stay on that straight and narrow, okay? So some of the things we do to maintain our spiritual house in this corrupt, wicked world, okay, is we read the scriptures, okay? Like Paul told Timothy to give attendance to reading, all right? Study, like the scriptures say in, was it 2 Peter 1 and 10? It says, give all diligence. Let me bring that out real quick. It's 2 Peter. 2 Peter 1 and 10, it says, wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, ye shall never fall. The point out of this verse is to give diligence. That diligence really goes into your study. And, if you studying, that's going to give you ideas to teach, ideas for topics to teach on. Okay. So what did I say? Reading, studying, which is, looking up words, whether it's getting into history, going back, watching different breakdowns, staying sharp on certain breakdowns, attending class with a ready mind to learn, and if you're not doing these things because of laziness, eventually, you will, the spirit is going to eventually just leave you. Okay. Because you're not maintaining your spiritual house through the scriptures, through the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this truth, eventually, like the scripture over here in Ecclesiastes 10 and 18, it says, by much slothfulness, the building decayeth. Same thing like with a car. You know, if you don't maintain the upkeep, the maintenance on your car, the car is gonna break down. You gotta change your oil. You gotta get after so many, over 100,000 miles or whatever. You wanna flush your cooling system. You gotta keep the brakes and rotors and changed, and different things on the suspension changed out over time. You gotta maintenance your vehicle, or it's going to eventually break down if you don't. And same thing here in this truth. If you're not feeding your spirit, another word for maintenance is feeding the spirit with action, with activity in this truth, then eventually you're gonna wither away in the spirit. And I'm speaking to myself too, because I definitely wouldn't want to end up like that, being this lazy sack of shit, and we all fight these lazy demons from time to time, but a lesson like this is directed to a man that's just engulfed in laziness. Everything about him is lazy. His whole energy towards the ministry is lazy. When you look at his life, it's lazy. He's a lazy individual. He's not attentive to the ministry. He's not about action. Got another scripture, and I'm gonna close this lesson out. This is what was that? Proverbs. Just had it. In Proverbs 25. Okay, I'm sorry. Proverbs 24, chapter 24, and verse 30. And it says this. It says, I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of a man void of understanding. And lo, it was all grown over with thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. So, I'll just use an example of to where maybe brothers can relate to. And this time, say you have a house, right? And you don't upkeep the grass and the weeds and the bushes around the house, and the grass is super tall all the time. Every time you pass by, just say this particular person's house, their grass is never cut. It's always the weeds is growing everywhere. Okay, the stone around the house, like say the patio, or maybe a stone, like a stone fence is in front of the house, and it's corroding, and weeds is growing over it because no maintenance is being done. And why is it not being done? Because of whoever is the owner of that house or that land, okay, is lazy. And so same thing, with us in this truth, if you're a lazy individual, and then, I ain't directing this at nobody in particular, but it got men obviously in the truth that, that fit this bill of being slothful, lazy, all the way around, man, whether it's in your energy in the ministry or in your life, the upkeep of your surroundings, where you live at, how you approach going out here in Esau's jacked up ass kingdom, and making $1, man, making a Federal Reserve note so that you can survive out here, And if you got that lazy mentality, You know, it's just not a good sign, you know. So any brother that's going through that, pray that the Most High get that shit up off of you and get you right, or just get the hell out of here, you know. Just get the fuck out of here. Because I'm sure, you know, serious-minded, sincere brothers don't like to be around a lazy-ass man, you know. That shit irritates me, especially when it comes to this work. I don't like to be around lazy-ass men, you know. So that's pretty much it. With that, I hope this quick lesson was edifying and exhorting to the spirit to, you know, if this pertains to you, then, you know, get up off your ass and, you know, pray that the Most High take that lazy ass spirit up off of you, man. You know? And also, you know, for, you know, the brothers that's pushing, you know, to keep pushing and pray that spirit don't come upon you and overtake you, man, because that's a bad place to be. When you in a state of laziness, your existence is lazy. That's a bad place, terrible place to be. You're gonna end up getting destroyed like that, you know. Anybody that comes in that light, you know, of being lazy, continuing, that's just your mindset in this truth. So I want to give all praises once again to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, the men that taught us this truth through the Spirit, and peace and blessings unto the elect. Shalom.